Hey everyone, welcome back. Now I've seen a lot of wild stuff over the years. I've heard a lot of RV horror stories. But nothing, and I mean nothing, compares to the absolute crazy story that I got for you today. This is, without a doubt, the craziest RV survival story I've ever heard. Now this comes from Ted and Valerie from California. They're two followers of the channel. They sent me an email that really made my jaw drop. And then when I read the official story about this, my jaw dropped again. Now let me take you to June 12, 2008, the Sierra Nevada mountains near Independence, California. Oak Creek specifically. Now the year before, in 2007, a massive wildfire had scorched the Oak Creek area. No vegetation, nothing to hold back the soil. So when a mega thunderstorm started rolling in the following year, nature said, "Here, watch this." Flash floods erupted. A wall of mud, trees, and SUV-sized boulders came crashing down the hillside, down the creeks. And parked right in its path, boondocking in a mini Winnie, was a guy named Don Rockwood. Don was cooking dinner when, bam, a tree comes through his wall. Seconds later, his motorhome is being shredded by a debris flow. He's got no choice but to climb out through a hole that is formed in the roof. He jumps into the flood to avoid getting crushed. Now this is where the story gets unreal. Don is an experienced body surfer, so he starts body surfing the debris flow. Now we're talking about mud, rocks, logs, trees. This is not ocean waves. This guy body surfed for over a mile down the slope. He was dodging boulders, trees. He even had to dodge his own pickup truck, which was floating down behind him. Eventually he got swept into a rock, and he kind of goes under here. He can't breathe for a little bit, but luckily the flow slows down just enough he's able to stand up, but he's covered in mud. His shoes are gone. His clothes are half torn off his body. He's in a thunderstorm and he's starting to see lightning crack around him. He sees in the distance the Mount Whitney fish hatchery and starts stumbling towards it. He figures there has to be some people there. And he realizes the whole road is gone, so he grabs a tree branch, kind of uses a walking stick as he starts to push through chest-deep mud trying to get to this hatchery. So at this point he looks like a ghost from the mud flats of hell. But there were firefighters there at the hatchery, and those firefighters were speechless when they saw him walk up. He was airlifted out. He had cuts and bruises, but miraculously, he didn't have any broken bones. He survived. And I did read the geological survey of this flood, and there were basically 3 waves of mud that he had to deal with, and the last wave that came in was 12 feet tall. So again, it's amazing he survived. It covered all of Highway 395, wiped out like 25 homes, and yet somehow this guy survived. Now I want to thank Ted and Valerie for sending me this story and the incredible photos, some of which I've showed you and some of which I'm about to show you here. Now they lost their cabin the previous year in that area, in that fire that had happened, and they went back to check on the road to their cabin to see if it survived the floods. And that's when they saw what was left of Don's mini Winnie. Folks, it was not pretty. They had to just stare at it for a while and try to figure out, is this actually a motorhome? They said they saw transmission gears in the mud. There were some boulders lodged underneath it, and there were some boulders 10 feet up in the trees. They included this photo here of their daughter Samantha, who was standing in a gully next to these massive boulders, and that gully didn't even exist before this flood. This tells you the kind of flow this guy was body surfing in. On a side note, to Ted and Valerie and their whole family, I'm sorry to hear about the cabin that they lost out there years back, but even more tragically, they recently lost their home and their RV to the Altadena fires that happened in California recently. So my heart really goes out to you folks. I really appreciate your courage and the fortitude to actually tell me this story and send me all this information. Really appreciate it, and it really shows sort of that fortitude of the RV community to push through and just deal with what happens and keep moving forward. Ted joked that this guy should be like on the cover of Surfer magazine with the headline, "Hats off, gentlemen, the greatest ride ever." So the next time you're thinking about your generator dying and it's raining out a little bit, or your gray tank is backing up, just remember, it could be a whole lot worse. You could be surfing down a mountain creek in a muddy flash flood of mud, body surfing in your underwear, so it could be worse. Hey, if you like this story, give it a thumbs up. I hope this story earned your subscription. If you haven't subscribed already, click that subscribe button. And of course, if you've got some crazy RV story, tell it in the comments or send me an email at RVingWithJoe@gmail.com. Camping season's ramping up more and more, so stay safe out there and get busy living. And if you like that video, you might want to check out some of these videos below, especially RV's Gone Wild, which has got the crazy RV crashes and videos. And we just put out the greatest hits, which is nothing but crashes, disasters, fires. It's crazy. Check it out.